Painless Performance Conversations, A Practical Approach to Critical Day-to-Day Workplace Discussions by Marnie E. Hello everyone. Today I am going to review the book, Painless Performance Conversations. A Practical Approach to Critical Day-to-Day Workplace Discussions by Marnie E. You just hired Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You recruit and hire a new manager, a respected leader with terrific credentials and great recommendations. She begins with a bang, bringing solid staffers onto her project team and providing members with a well-developed strategic plan. But she quickly runs into trouble by ignoring well-established company procedures, fighting with other managers and failing to support her team members when mistakes occur. She doesn't seem to hesitate pushing them under the bus in the face of problems. Employee performance problems rarely, if ever, resolve themselves. It is up to you to take action. You know you should do something about her, but other challenges demand your time and attention. Because of the new manager's stellar record, you give her the benefit of the doubt. Also, you don't look forward to bringing any of this up by starting a conversation with her that is bound to be painful and unpleasant. You fear that the necessary follow-up discussions will be even worse. So you look the other way, hoping the situation will somehow resolve itself. For employees to be successful, your number one job must be to help your employees see your expectations as clearly as you see them. The next time you check, you learn that everyone on the manager's team is miserable. Some of the company's best people became totally frustrated and unhappy, and they quit. At this point, you realize that you abdicated your responsibility for dealing with the manager's abusive and counterproductive leadership. Only you can address them productively. Performance conversations are painful because you make them so. If you are like most executives, the above scenario is not uncommon. As an executive, you must stay on top of the people who work for you. You have to hold them accountable. From the beginning, have regular conversations with your new staffers regarding their progress and job performance. Talk to them about day-to-day interactions and relationships with their team members, particularly if you learn that things are going badly. If you don't speak up quickly, the situation can deteriorate and will eventually spin out of control. Your inaction will only make things worse. When managers give little or no feedback to employees, 4 of 10 workers report being actively disengaged. 6. Many executives avoid difficult personal encounters with their direct reports. Such dereliction of duty is simply a matter of wimping out. Fear causes such avoidance, specifically, fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, and fear of failure. But fear can always be conquered. And each time you do what you fear, the task becomes easier, and you become less afraid. Performance conversations. Performance conversations are particularly difficult when they involve employees with whom the manager must have a good daily working relationship. No one likes these discussions or can predict how they might go. However, well-run performance discussions can be positive experiences for the manager and the employee. If you know how to manage these sessions, they don't have to be painful. Delivering the news that an employee is not stacking up can be tough. But it doesn't have to be. Whatever their organizational level, all employees need interaction and feedback to function well. They must know your precise expectations and how to meet them. When you convey this crucial information in a constructive way, your discussion about performance provides employees with an essential, valuable service. Are you a catalyst? As a manager, your job is to be the catalyst for positive action within your team. Use regular, frequent painless performance conversations to bring out the best in your employees and direct reports. That means having a conversation with a person you care about concerning an issue that worries you. The situation requires your influence, and the outcome is uncertain. Regardless of how the prospect of the conversation makes you feel, performance-related conversations are your job as a manager. Being a catalyst means guiding your employees and your company to a better organizational future. Work is a group exercise, but each employee faces individual challenges and must solve specific problems. Don't turn these meetings into scary, formal sessions conducted behind closed doors. Keep them as conversational and informal as possible. If an employee annoys you personally or triggers one of your pet peeves, make sure this doesn't get in the way of a productive conversation. As manager of your work group, you are setting expectations in every conversation you have with your employees. Accept your responsibility for your staff members' productivity. Never assume that one conversation will automatically solve an employee issue. Notable change will almost always require repeated conversations. Focus on work-related, functional performance issues that interfere with employees working at their best. Specific expectations. Never leave your employees guessing about what your organization expects. In addition to employee handbooks, procedure manuals, and other guidelines, provide each employee with a written list of your specific expectations. The better informed your staffers are about your standards and goals, the more likely they are to meet them. One reason giving feedback is tough is because managers often don't give feedback. They make judgments. Be as precise as possible. Don't tell an employee, "I'd like you to take care of that customer complaint today." Instead say, "Return that customer's call today and provide her with a response that is satisfactory to her and to our organization." Don't say, "We need to make sure the office is organized before we go home tonight." Instead say, "Before the end of our workday, please pick up the trash, straighten the magazines, and replenish the brochure supply in the waiting room." It may seem quicker and easier to tell employees what to do, but you won't gain their commitment. When you plan and conduct a performance conversation, focus on the employee's behavior and not on what you deem to be his or her bad attitude. Concentrating on something that is intangible and unmeasurable like attitude is seldom productive. Your perception of an employee's attitude might easily be wrong. Employee behavior, however, is observable and tangible. In a conversation centered on attitude, you might be tempted to say, "You seem to be distracted and more careless with your work recently." In a dialogue based on behavior, you would more concretely say, "Your reports have included 10% more errors this month than in the past 3 months." Similarly, keep subjective assessments out of performance conversations. Stay objective and provide concrete constructive feedback instead. Employees actually want guidance on their performance, and many become anxious without it. The style, time, and place. Don't do all the talking. Avoid phrasing like, "You need to," "You should," and "Why don't you?" Ask open-ended questions to learn the reasons behind an employee's substandard behavior or performance. You might ask, "What are your ideas about?" Or, "How might we best resolve this?" Make your employees personally accountable for their problems and solutions. They must assume ownership of all the good and bad aspects of their work. Managers have performance conversations every minute of every day, through the year. Be thoughtful about the location and timing of your performance conversations. Find a place that allows you and the employee to focus on the issues at hand without distractions. This could be a bench in a park, at a table over dinner, or in an office lounge, whichever works best. Be aware of your state of mind before the meeting. If you are upbeat and hopeful, things will almost always go better than if you are downbeat about the situation or feeling negative about the individual. The behaviors you observe are more reliable than the assumptions you make. When you stay more consciously positive, potential fear will hold less sway over you. Don't speculate or borrow trouble. Consider what kinds of what-ifs might deter you from having a critical conversation, such as, what if the employee is resistant to change? Or, what if the employee can't handle the volume of work? Remember, you will never have a full, clear picture of what's going on until you speak directly with the staff member in question. Practical guidelines. A painless performance conversation involves 3 elements. No surprises. Spell out your expectations. Your team members cannot improve a particular skill if you never tell them that it is important. Begin by clearly communicating your priorities. The employee must fix the problem. People must take ownership. Focus on the future. Highlight what the staffer can do to make things better tomorrow, not on what happened that made things worse yesterday. Employees need and want your perspective so that they can be successful. Use this 6-step model to plan and implement painless performance conversations. Explain the situation. Discuss in detail why it is important. Listen and probe. Find out what is going on and why. Find agreement. Get employees to commit voluntarily to change their behavior. Ask employees to concur on important tasks or goals. Discuss alternatives. The employee should make these suggestions. Specify the next steps. Be precise about the who, what, and when of decisions. Express confidence. Communicate your faith in the employee to do better. Plan, focus, and show confidence. You must prepare for performance conversations. Painless discussions only work if you are confident and know what you want to accomplish. The heart and soul of performance conversations includes: if not you, then who? You are responsible for keeping employees productive. You must monitor their work and make sure they meet their goals. That requires regular performance conversations. Develop your craft. The more you practice performance conversations, the better you become. Study and review your progress and capabilities. Model successful people. Does an executive in your office excel at communicating with his or her employees? Study that person's conversational approaches and techniques and apply those methods to your efforts. Practice visualization. Before your next performance conversation, sit down, get rid of all distractions, concentrate your thinking and visualize how the upcoming discussion might play out. Review possible options and how you might respond. Focus, focus, focus. A batter keeps his or her eyes on the ball. During performance conversations, stay fully focused. Don't get sidetracked by small talk or ancillary issues that are less relevant. Mind your negative thoughts. People often try to wriggle out of unpleasant events by repeating negative internal dialogues. For example, you don't want to have this conversation, or why don't you just wait and see if the employee changes? Don't pay attention to these negative messages. Think positive thoughts and develop a strategy for having a productive conversation. Begin with the hardest conversation, tackle difficult issues first. Wait through the silence. Expert conversationalists understand that silence can be valuable. In performance conversations, silence gives employees a moment to formulate their replies and control their emotions. Give your staff member plenty of time to develop the most appropriate responses to your questions and comments. Shift your focus. Normally, your goal is to fix an employee's performance problem. However, if no fix is possible, shift your perspective. You can take one of three paths. Focus on what's right, not what's wrong. Focus on what you have, not what you don't have. Or, focus on solutions, not problems. Ask for reassurance. Emotional support helps. Discuss your upcoming performance conversation with someone you respect, like a trusted colleague. Have patience. Don't expect behavioral change miracles after 1, 2, or even 3 conversations with an employee. Change seldom occurs overnight. Don't expect too much. Adopt a long-term view. Conversations are living and breathing events with a multitude of moving parts. By properly implementing the right conversational techniques and tools, you can help your employees improve their performance, painlessly. Takeaways. The more satisfied employees are with their managers, the more satisfied they will be with their jobs. Make sure your staff members know exactly what you and your organization expect. Employees require feedback to know how they're doing. Engage in positive performance conversations with workers as often as possible. Use these conversations to manage your employees' day-to-day work quality. A painless performance conversation involves discussing a hard issue with an employee in a circumstance that requires your influence and has an uncertain outcome. Most managers dislike and avoid these dialogues, but such talks don't have to be hard. Never assume that just one conversation will solve an employee issue. The better informed your employees are about your specific standards and goals, the more likely they are to perform as you wish. As a manager, you must be a catalyst for positive action within your team, guiding your employees and company to a better organizational future. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.